Happy Friday. Welcome to the Digital Weather Desk powered by Century Next Bank. What's next for you? Visit cnext.bank for more. Happy Friday, and we're off to a relatively warm start on this Friday afternoon, or this Friday at lunchtime, right at noon, as folks get ready to prepare for the weekend. Overall, not a lot's changed in the immediate short term, but we have tweaked the forecast a tad as we go into the early parts of next week, and that does include a slight boost in the way of rain chances. Temperatures right now generally in the low to mid 80s. Some areas still holding in the upper end of the 70s, but as temperatures continue to refresh over the next hour, I expect most of us to return to the 80s rather firmly. Wind speeds are generally in the 5 to 10 mile an hour range. I wouldn't be surprised to see them over 10 to 10 to 15 miles an hour along the Mississippi Valley through the afternoon today and into the daytime hours tomorrow. Temperatures across the region are generally in the 80s. 78 right now in Memphis. It's one of the cooler spots, but Shreveport's already at 86, Lake Charles at 84, Baton Rouge at 79, 84 also in Alexandria. So no matter where you're headed, if your high school football team is in the immediate area but not in our area, expect general conditions to stay the same. It'll be warm. Clear skies for kickoff tonight. Most of us will be in the upper end of the 70s. Your official football forecasts for today and tomorrow set to release in about an hour and a half or so at around 1:30. Check the visible satellite this afternoon, and you can kind of see why there's cause for concern in terms of an increase in Gulf moisture along the Gulf coastline. And we'll get to all of that in a minute. Locally, it's sun-filled skies. We have a few afternoon clouds bubbling up over Toledo Bend, but that's generally off to our west. And a look at the radar. All of your radar products made possible by Browns Roofing, brownsroofingla.com. To schedule your free roof inspection. And the showers and the rain continues to generally stay along and offshore. As we take a look, a peek out of the radar out of southeastern Louisiana. And this is really where we expect the heftiest rain totals to be confined through the upcoming weekend. But rain will be kind of a nuisance for folks immediately along the coastline from Grand Isle and some of those areas. And I would expect rain coverage to likely increase. Check of tropical development, and that area of yellow is not really a big concern for us. In fact, the influx of tropical moisture that we're going to deal with is not really related. It's kind of almost two pieces moving through the Gulf or parts of the Gulf in the western Atlantic, depending on which body of water and which feature you're looking at. But generally, this is kind of how it sets up. So bear with me as I try to use some fancy new tools and toys as we just kind of go through this, and I try to make this a little bit easier on myself. But here's the overall setup, and we've been looking at this for the last couple of days. This is called total precipitable water, but it's basically just looking at the column of air above us and how much moisture is there. Obviously, the brighter, bolder colors mean higher amounts of moisture versus areas that are a little bit drier. So we've got high pressure aloft out over portions of the mid-Mississippi Valley, and that's what's kind of steering the forecast. And at the surface, that's why our storms yesterday kind of went from east to west, as the overall steering pattern just kind of favors this. That high pressure center is going to move off to the east. Meanwhile, off to the south of all of this activity, we've got two areas of moisture that we're watching, and these are the two spots that we've been watching for the last few days. The one that's bringing the showers and the thunderstorms that we're seeing offshore already out over the northern Gulf coastline, and then that potential tropical feature. We don't really care about that right now because it's not an immediate concern for our area. So as we put things into motion over the next few days, that big glob of moisture out over the coastline eventually finds, as that high-pressure center moves east, as I just kind of told you it was going to happen, and it kind of recenters over the mid-Atlantic states, that area of moisture finds that weakness in the ridge and just decides to go ahead and dart on inland. Meanwhile, we still got that little tropical feature out there, or that other trough of low pressure out over portions of Florida, the Bahamas, and again, it's still not really a bother for us. So all of that kind of sets up to bring us an influx of moisture early parts of next week. If you want to put it farther into motion, again, I don't want to go into the semantics of that other little feature, but it generally kind of steers everything off to the west. So we put this into motion even farther as we go deeper into next week, and that deeper, better quality of moisture just kind of lingers across the area through the first and middle parts of next week. So the rain chances are isolated or even scattered in nature, but they're there. But then we also have to turn our attention toward the middle to end parts of next week, and for folks that are wanting to know what's causing this really sharp change in moisture, this is likely some sort of cold front that's going to be moving into the area by that stretch. So we may even scour out what's left of that moisture and then bring a cold front through. It's not obviously with the orientation of this front, it's probably going to miss us generally to the east. And it's going to have to kind of backdoor into the region. That's what we call a backdoor front. It sneaks in from northeast to southwest, and so they're usually weaker. So any changes that we see in terms of that front middle to end parts of next week are likely to not be overly aggressive, but it at least maybe resets temperatures, maybe falling back into the mid-80s during that stretch. So as you look at Futurecast, again, made possible by Bayou Power Sports, you can see some of the more aggressive rain totals immediately along the coastline as they see the more frequent rain over the next few days. But it's set up over the next 7 days. It also does bring some rain into our area. This is a lower resolution computer model take, so again, we're just kind of looking at the overall trends of the next week. I show you that computer model output, but here's the official forecast from the Weather Prediction Center over the next 7 days. Obviously, there's a pretty big discrepancy between what you're seeing from that model data and what you're seeing in the official forecast. Obviously, it brings the most concentrated areas of rain along the Gulf coastline, and then inland, there will probably be some scattered activity, but it's a little too early for us to get into the specifics of when the best rain chances will be setting up over our area. The 6 to 10 day outlook doesn't have a lot of encouraging news in terms of temperatures. We are likely to continue to trend above normal through the 6 to 10 day time frame. And in terms of precipitation, still looking to trend a little below average, or at least confidence of trending below average. The 8 to 14 day outlook, kind of the same story, warmer than normal and drier than normal. Now, if you want to take any kind of plus from all of this, it's the fact that the 6 to 10 day outlooks and the 8 to 14 day outlooks don't include the rain chances that we have coming up Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, simply because, well, that's inside that 6 day window. So a little bit of bright side there. Overnight lows tonight back into the low to mid 60s. Again, some slightly drier air, this weak boundary or weak trough that's nudged through the area kind of brings temperatures down a few degrees, and that means some milder mornings. But we will warm up quickly because the air is fairly dry tomorrow. And as we set up for the weekend, still aiming for highs in the upper 80s to near 90. I wouldn't be surprised. Southern Arkansas, and for folks along the Mississippi Valley, you folks may be more mid-80s, but in northern Louisiana, especially and especially for areas that haven't seen as much rainfall, so southeastern Arkansas versus southern Arkansas, some of those spots may be closer to 90 degrees as we go through the next few days. Sunday, cloud cover picks up late. Rain chances could sneak back in late as well. So all things that we'll keep an eye on as we go through the weekend. Look at the 7-day forecast made possible by 3B Outdoor Equipment. And hey, the rain chances are back up to 30%, which means I get to put the little cloud and rain and lightning icon back up. That's encouraging. And we've bumped the rain chances up starting Sunday as that Gulf moisture increases. Monday, probably our best chance. Tuesday, Wednesday, we just kind of have some lingering pesky showers and storms, most of it pretty spotty and most of it kind of fueled by the daytime warmth. But then by Wednesday, we could nudge that weak cold front through the area and then perhaps dry out a little bit for the end of the week and for next weekend. So that's a very long look at kind of how things look to shape up as we go through the next couple of days and the rain chances as we go into the weekend. Your football forecasts set, again, to release about 90 minutes from now. Your fish and game forecast is about 8 o'clock tonight. I will have another look at the forecast and some of the latest forecast information, especially since a lot of folks, this may be the last weather information they get going into early next week. So I don't want you to be surprised by anything by Sunday and Monday, so we'll keep an eye on that and update you there as well. Don't forget the Love Like Olivia 10K, 5K starts at Flying Tiger Brewery tomorrow morning. Registration, I believe, starts at 8:30. The Digital Weather Desk is a proud sponsor of that event. I will be out there. The family will be out there. If you're not running in the event, just come out and cheer them on, say hello, be a part of the festivities and everything, as we'll be out in downtown Monroe for a good chunk of the early part of the day tomorrow. Have a great Friday. As always, you can check the latest forecast and the latest radar at digitalweatherdesk.com. I'll join